Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining my review of Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 36, Ready or Not. So the segment starts out with True and Shantae. We see True outside talking on the phone to his sister. As he's walking, he sees Shantae parked down the street. He decides, as he says, pull up on her to see what she's doing. As we know, Shantae's been down there crying and telling us that she should have listened to everybody. She's talking to her brother on the phone, and she's crying and acting like she's having a nervous breakdown. And oh my God, I should have listened to everybody. I don't know why. Okay, next. And then, as I said, True pulls up to see what she's doing. He gets on the passenger side. He didn't even ask to get in, but he just got in, and she starts yelling at him not to get in the car. And of course, he gets in the car. True starts to look out the driver's side window, and I'm sorry, Shantae starts to look at the driver's side window, and True is like, "What, you don't want to hear what I have to say?" And she's like, "What do you want to say?" He says, "We can be friends." Shantae is like, "I don't want to be friends." He says, "I don't have any female friends." In her mind, she's like, "Stop lying. What do you want from me?" She storms out the car and walks to the back of the car by the trunk, and she starts crying and acting like she's about to have a nervous breakdown again. True gets out the car, and Shantae gets back in the car and pulls off. True says, "Well, I guess it's over now." So later we see Shantae back in Missouri. She says it's been 14 weeks since they broke up. She says she is in a new job and a cheaper home. However, she does miss True. She's about to meet up with her friend and her daughter, who is 30 weeks pregnant, and at a baby store. So as they are looking around at clothes, Shantae picks up a bag and asks how they think the bag looks on her. And then she just out of nowhere says, "Because I'm pregnant." And the daughters and friends just are like in shock. Um, the daughter and the friend ask her if it's True's baby, and Shantae is like, "What do you think? Who's a kind of like who else baby you think it is?" And they're like, I don't know why they asked that question. I thought they kind of also assumed it was True's baby, but Shantae seems overjoyed. She said one day how she found out was that one day she was at work and she fell off of a chair and she passed out. So they took her to the ER, and when she received her test results, they were like, "And by the way, you have a positive pregnancy test." So she says she's 14 weeks along. She said True doesn't know yet because she hasn't told him yet. And the friend it's just not she's outside talking to the cameraman, and she's like, she's not very confident that True will step up and support her because he's not consistent. She goes back into the store, and then Shantae shows them a picture of the sonogram. And so not only is she having one baby, but it appears she's having twins. I was like, wow, okay. So good luck with that, Shantae. I don't know. But, maybe he'll step up. Just maybe. So, all right. Next we have Zariah and Troy. So they're still at the church, and Troy's mom is going through a series of emotions. Like after eating the marijuana gummies, she's laughing or she's crying or she's constantly talking, just super rude in church. It's almost like, they are like babysitting her. Although there's not a lot of people, in the church, I mean, it's still like they are having to babysit her. And I would have been completely annoyed. But on the other hand, I'm not really sure why Zariah thought the first few days of him getting out, she needed to take him to the church. Take her to the church to meet her parents. I think there were other times that she would be able to meet the parents. I didn't think that week 1 was necessary to meet her parents. So anyways, Troy sits next to her to make sure she's okay. And she says she's fine. And, his mom tells him to go sit down. So next thing you know, the pastor starts preaching and she's just like, she did sit there for a little bit. I would say it seemed like maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And then she was like, she's like, I gotta go. And she just makes a big scene as she leaves out of the church. I don't know. It was just kind of rude. I don't know. It was just very rude. So Troy walks outside to check on his mom. She says she ate 3 gummies and she's ready to, come out of that dress and that Troy owes her big time. She says she's high and she wants to leave because they are making her want to drink. And Troy goes back into the church. And the son did, Zariah's son did come out, but Troy sent her son back in because, his mom was just acting too erratic. And he didn't need to be seeing that. So Troy decides to go back into the church. And then I believe Zariah sent her son outside to get the grandma Karen so that she could come back inside the church. And then he tells her she is supposed to meet because she's supposed to meet his grandparents. And Karen says, not now. And she loves everyone, but she doesn't want to meet anybody right now. So at the end of service, Zariah decides to tell the parents to come outside to meet Troy's mom. And, despite the mom saying that she didn't want to meet them, it's just almost kind of like forced. Like Zariah was kind of, to me, just kind of forcing a lot. Of things that really didn't need to be. So, I think they had plenty of time that she could have still met Zariah's parents, and it didn't have to be that first week. I would be very curious of what the rush was about. So anyways, next we see Kim and Joy. So Joy returned back to the house. And guests are starting to arrive because it's Christmas Day and they just have a lot of people that are going to be stopping by. One of the guests is his niece, who says, she has some unresolved feelings and wanted to talk to him. This is a niece that is quite younger than Joy because it looks like there were some pictures they were showing that looks like Joy used to kind of help take care of her, and he was there, when she was growing up until he went to prison. And so again, like I said, the niece who says she has some unresolved feelings and wanted to talk to him. So she pulls him aside in the backyard and says she has some unresolved feelings, and she wants to tell him, or she tells him he really hurt her. She tells him in the 6th grade that she found a needle in the bathroom and that it was life-changing to her. So, and then also in 2018, she gave him $40 for a train ticket, and he used it for drugs. So she gets emotional, and all he can do is apologize. Um, I personally don't know why Christmas Day was the day she chose to bring up some old stuff. Like, I think it was the time and a place for it, but I don't think it was Christmas Day at, at the Christmas kind of dinner that they were going to be having. So I just thought that was just weird. It was old, and I'm like, she's bringing up just super old stuff that none of us needed to know about, and they could have talked about, off camera, just between them two. So it's just some weird stuff that keeps going on. So, um, he said he's changed. All he can do is show her that, he's changed. They hug, and they go back in the house. So later, Kim's dad comes by, and Joy hugs him and immediately decides to open the presents, and gets on one knee to pop the question. And Kim says yes. And, I was kind of thinking, did you even ask Kim's father for her hand in marriage? Because he looks, the father to me was sitting on the couch, and he kind of gave a facial expression like he was unimpressed. But, she said yes very quickly, and everybody seemed happy for her. I guess asking the father for his approval is not like a thing anymore. So, or not as much. I'm sure there's some people who do it. So Kim's dad asked Joy to come talk to him outside. He tells Joy that he needs to talk to him. And he said he wants him to be working, taking care of the kids, and leaving his former life behind him. He said he's happy for the both of them. And, he said that he gives Joy his blessing. But then he turns around and says he's to the cameras. Kim's dad says to the cameras that he still feels that Joy will be back doing drugs within 3 months of being out. And I was like, ouch. But you have all these high hopes of him being with your daughter, and you just gave her blessing. So I thought that was weird. He kind of could have kept that to himself. So anyways, next we have Bianca and Daniel. So Bianca receives a phone call from Daniel, and she immediately tells him that she received a call from his parents, and that his dad asked if she's mentally stable. And, he said that it is a weird thing to ask her. And he did say that he'll have to talk with his dad. Her roommate is in the living room with her, listening to her call, and tells Daniel that, she is leaving tomorrow, and she's very concerned about Bianca. And she just wants to make sure that she will be okay. And Daniel assures her that he will take care of her, and she doesn't have to worry. The roommate tries to talk some sense into Bianca, and but she's already made up in her mind that she's going to be with Daniel, and hopefully one day marry him. So her roommate is not very hopeful of the outcome, but she said she'll just sit on the sideline and watch this all play out. Later, we see Bianca receive a video call from Daniel. She tells Daniel that she feels he's been different. Daniel explains that because he's been locked up since 2020, that maybe he's anxious about, what that will look like. Right now, everything is programmed and structured, while he's in prison. And, when he gets out, he'll have to figure out he'll have that to figure out, and it's a little terrifying to him. So she then asks him, how do you think you're going to feel when you're with me? And he said, he's lucky because she's the biggest support system he has. And in my opinion, I feel like she's the biggest financial support system he has. Because I really think it's just all about the money. She tells him she's going to want to drink sometimes, but doesn't want to trigger him. And he says if she drinks every day, that's not going to be a challenge for him. I mean, that it is going to be a challenge for him. She expects him to find a job within a month of him getting out, or she said it's going to be a problem because she said she's not spending all her savings on him. I agree. And then we see Bianca moving to Arizona, and she's going to be shipping her car, and she's sitting by the beach, just kind of, looking at the water, because, she knows that going to Arizona, she's not going to be able to, just go to the beach as much as she wants. So, and that's that for them. Now we go to Julianne and Christine. They are getting dressed to leave West Virginia. She says the only thing she will miss is her son and something crazy like pepperoni rolls. She then decides that she wants to show Julian the first bank she robbed. Apparently, he says, he wants to see it, but Christine says that he has always been curious of it. So, they pull into the parking lot, and Christine starts yelling or telling us how she actually robbed the banks, like step by step. Like she said, she wrote a note saying, put all your 50s and 100s in an envelope. She said nothing threatening, and she walked in with her head down. She had a hoodie on. She said she handed the teller the note, and she handed her, the teller handed her the money. I think she only got about $2,000 that day. So, because they only, robbed her drawer. They didn't rob like the vault or anything. So next we see a police car sitting in the parking lot, and it's just getting fake. And, I'm just really over it. And they both leave because, that seemed very staged that at that same time a police officers was there. So they finally make it to Julian's townhouse, and she said she only grew up in like Section 8, where she didn't see any really nice, living in anything nice. And he has a three-story townhouse. And he shows her around his home. She gets sad because he shows her when he's showing her around, he's letting her know that his kids are on the second floor. Their bedrooms are on the second floor. And that's when she begins to get a little bit sad because she wants her kids. And then his kids' rooms, like I said, are on the second floor. But he also tells her that she will have to stay on the third floor when his kids are there, which she thought was a bit weird, but he's just not ready right now to share her with the kids. And I think that's a good idea. That's probably the only good idea he's had since he met her. So she doesn't know how she feels about it, but for now she'll roll with it. And she's not sure how she's going to be on the third floor and them not know she's up there. So I don't either, because if she's walking around upstairs, they're going to think that someone is there. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Kind of don't care. But thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And on your way out, if you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll definitely talk to you later.